Which Lamont won? Who you thought won? Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know.
Man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned.
That should have awarded Lamont Roach the fight. That he should have been the winner. He should have been the...
Following Lamont Roach's contentious bout with Gervonta Davis, boxing experts and commentators are criticizing the judges. Many people think that Roach deserved better, and Luke Thomas even claims that Roach is the finest fighter Tank has ever fought. Despite the final outcome, Roach's status has surged when he gave Davis one of his hardest battles, demonstrating his El Elite kill.
Man, Lamont told me he was the best opponent that Tank has faced. I don't think that that's wrong after today. I know some people were saying Pedraza. You could say Pedraza too, but for 5 snakes, Roach is better than I thought. All right? Okay, here we go.
On social media, famous boxer Terence Crawford vented his fury, saying, "They robbed that boy, and it's crazy." Crawford's response draws attention to the dispute around the fight's result and the sense of unfairness toward Roach supporters. Both fighters are criticizing the scoring, with some accusing it of outright thievery. Roach's performance demonstrated his fortitude, strength, and intelligence, forcing him to go to the deep seas. Regardless of the outcome, Roachas became well respected in the boxing community.
And then sticks his head out the ropes, gets a towel on it, and then gets back in there and is like, okay, now I'm good. And the referee's like, oh yeah, this is totally normal protocol. What the fuck was that? What was that? Dude, was that factored in? It doesn't appear that was factored in, given the scores. That should have, and I'm being serious when I say this, that should have awarded Lamont Roach the fight. That he should have been the winner. He should have been the winner. That you take a fucking knee and then you stick your head out the ropes and the referee doesn't do anything? Dude, what are we talking about here? He elected, dude, what is the difference between that knee and the knee that Ryan Garcia elected to take? Ultimately, Ryan just stayed on his knee, but, would have counted the same way. He got on his knee. I don't understand that at all. So this result to me is actually really, really, really confusing. I'm not saying that there's, like, for example, you might respond, well, they'll just make the Shakur Stevenson fight anyway if they can. And that is a reasonable, totally very, very plausible scenario that we could all see ourselves into. Fair enough. Okay, fine. You might say, well, they're going to do a rematch. Okay, I suppose they could do that. They might bring that one home. I wouldn't hate that, I guess. I'm happy for Lamont Roach.
Following the fight between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis, former welterweight champion Sean Porter stated that he thought Roach should win round 9 by 1-8. Porter's claim is based on a point in that round when Davis seemed to take a knee, which many boxing commentators took to be a knockdown. A knockdown usually results in a round score of 108, which indicates the fighter who delivered the knockout had a major edge. Viview adds to the continuing discussion over the judges' judgments and the fight's score. Lamont Roach, however, conveyed confidence in his performance by saying, "I'm happy to show my skills, but I have skills that pay bills. I believe I've won." This feeling expresses his conviction that he performed better than Davis and merited the win. The Fitzhidom.
Lamont Roach had a tremendous performance, and this was a performance that this man knew he had in him. He had a confidence all week going into this fight, and you all saw why he had that confidence. A great performance, Lamont. I know you're frustrated because you wanted the win. You felt like you won. So just thoughts on the fight, and after having a couple of minutes to decompress, what are your thinking right now?
I mean, obviously, I want to go back and watch it, but clearly in there, man, I thought I won. I thought I did enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the motherfucking bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate True Boxing Media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won, and I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
Appeared to be well prepared for Davis's tactics, successfully predicting his movements, according to witnesses. Because of his preparation, Roach was able to implement a strategy that negated many of Davis's typical techniques, which led some to contend that Roach's performance was outstanding, and the bout was not a draw.
Draw? A draw. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. And I'm a Tank fan. My boy lost that fight tonight. It just seemed like Lamont knew everything Tank was gonna do. I'm not gonna sit here and say Tank didn't do anything right, because that would be a straight lie. Tank definitely had moments in this fight, but Roach surprised us all. You can definitely tell they know each other. I honestly just can't get over this though. Like, what was he doing? He's lucky they didn't count this. If they would have counted this, he would have definitely lost. Cal, I don't care what you have to do. I know you said you had a lot going on. You need to be back in the head trainers, but he was even screaming at you. I've never seen Tank yell at you before. Above all, man, shout out to Lamont. You definitely earned my respect tonight. I didn't even know you before this fight, but I know you now. We have to have a rematch. I already know what y'all about to say. Man, but comment below. I'm going to be
Concerning the judging of the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach match, boxing commentator Benny Well tweeted, "How do the judges not take into consideration the knee as a knockdown from the perspective of a genuine fighter?" In his statement, former Superman middleweight Cocontendera Jalonolov expressed his mounting dissatisfaction with the contentious scoring and apparent prejudice in the bout, claiming that he had defeated Davis with Roach at boxing and that he had done enough to win. V's viewpoint joins the growing number of boxing experts who think the judge's ruling was dubious.
The crowd didn't seem to like the draw. Did you think that was the right call?
Nah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I love Gervonta. Obviously, we come from a lot of the same shit. But I love boxing, and I seen Lamont Roach outclass Gervonta Davis tonight.
Yeah.
And I ain't against your Tank. I'm just a boxer. If you ask me, I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
I thought Lamont did enough to receive the victory.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't go his way. It was a good fight. The boxing fans won. And shit.
About the knockdown,
I think if anytime you take a knee or touch the canvas, and it's through to a punch, or even if you hurt and you go down, that's a knockdown. That's what I know from the rules of boxing since it started. You touch the canvas, it was not counted. He put a halt to the fight to go get his face wiped. These are all penalties, points, all different shit. So, from the game that I know if I was in that bitch, that would have been a knockdown. But it is what it is. Can't let the cash cow go. You coming out these arenas, you supposed to do that.
Yeah, man. So, he was better against Frank Martin. It looked like he was flat tonight.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
And Lamont Roach is a stellar fucking fighter. If you know Lamont Roach, know his father, know his brother, know they come from a great pedigree of boxing.
Though both combatants had their moments throughout the fiercely contested first few rounds of the battle, several of Davis's admirers, who frequently compliment his ring IQ, acknowledged that his strategic thinking seemed to have deteriorated during the SP spout. Roach was able to take advantage of this shift and maybe turn the battle in his favor.
Wasn't that some shit? Man, Lamont Roach did really good, man. It's hard for me to say this, but man, he could have won that fight. The first half of the fight was relatively close. And then, Tank started picking it up a little bit, like he does the ends of the rounds. He started throwing some punches, landed some good shots. He busted open Roach's nose. But then when you thought Tank was going to start taking over, this kid, Lamont, was, every time Tank would land something, it's almost as if he was there too long and he got countered with maybe even 2-3 better shots. multiple times. I mean, it was like all night. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy right now. Very shocking. I wouldn't have been mad. And then the knee that he took, I thought it was because he didn't have his mouth guard in at first. And then it was because he said something was in his eye. Man, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm a big Tank fan. And I've always given him credit for his IQ in the ring. That was a low fucking lima bean IQ fucking moment for him. I want to see a rematch though. I think maybe Tank was sleeping on him a little bit. I'm not mad with the draw, but I wouldn't have been mad with Roach winning either. I thought they were going to still give it to Tank because he's the cash cow.
The adult boxing analyst Shiz publicly declared that Roach was obviously robbed during the battle. His claim captures the dissatisfaction of many fans and commentators about the judge's ruling that Roach's performance was worthy of a victory.
Mistakes. I told you, he doesn't, if you hit him hard, that's why I said Keyshawn would be a good fight for him. You got to hit him hard. Lamont hit him with good shots and rocked him a few times. That always slows down Tank. It did with Barrios. Power, you got to have power. He said that's how rematch back in New York. Brother, the fact that you're rematching Roach, they robbed him. They robbed him. They robbed him. That is despicable. That's a 10-8. In what world is it not?
What bullshit is this? So the Lamont Roach and the Tank Davis fight ended in a draw, and I could not disagree more. We're just gonna get the obvious out of the way. Roach won the fight. It was a Stevie Wonder clear as day blind robbery. And that knee that Tank Davis took in the middle of the fight, he said he got some grease in his eye and his eye started to burn when he got his hair done and shit like that. Which it wasn't counted as a knockdown, but we all know it damn well should have been counted as a knockdown. You are not an exception to the rule. And as for Lamont Roach, he just clearly outboxed Tank, especially in the second half of the fight. He was just outboxing him. Now, I'm not just saying Tank didn't just put up a fight. Oh, trust me, he put up a fight. They were both going at it, but he was just clearly a little bit better. The refs decided to make it a draw. Why? I don't know, because they probably want to keep Tank's record undefeated, and it's good for business because he's the bigger name. So clearly, if that fight wasn't rigged, Roach would have won the fight. He should have won the fight. He was the better boxer that night, and that's how I feel about it. Let me know who you guys think.